This bookshelf, like most entrepreneurs' bookshelves, is filled with tons of #1 business books. Let's check it out. 4-Hour Workweek, that's actually good. 4 Disciplines of Execution, all kinds of stuff, right? We got Rocket Fuel, that's a good one. Second in Command, B2.0, Good to Great. A lot of people read this one, but let me tell you something. All of those books actually suck at helping you create an amazing business. There is one book that's here on the shelf. I'm gonna pick it out for you right now, which is amazing, but most entrepreneurs actually use it wrong. So let's take a look at this one. And this book is called The One Thing, How to Achieve Extraordinary Results with Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Now, I was a certified trainer for this book when I was the owner of several real estate franchises under Gary Keller. And he was actually a personal mentor of mine. I got to spend a lot of time with him, which was totally awesome. Jay Papasan actually engraved this one and said, follow your dominoes. And I'm going to tell you what that means in just a second. But anyway, this book is at the same time, did I say that right? This book is at the same time awesome, but also can really get you stuck because it can get you focusing on the wrong thing. So let me break it down for you real quick. So the main point of this book is to use something called the focusing question. The focusing question goes like this. What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? I want to break that down into its component parts because it's so important. But this is a question you should be asking yourself every single day, multiple times a day, to really figure out what that one thing is. However, I am going to share with you that what you think is the one thing is probably not the one thing. And that's where most entrepreneurs get tripped up when they read this book. So let's break down the question. What is the one thing? So you notice it's one thing, not 2, not 3, not 5, one thing. Whenever I used to do a training class and I'd tell people to write down the one thing that they should do, everyone always wrote down 2 or 3 or 5 things. I go, nope, one thing, right? So what's the one thing? I'm going to share with you how to get there in a sec that you can do, right? That you can do. So it's not something that someone else can do at this time. It's not something that you can't achieve. It's something that you can do such that by actually doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. And you keep asking that question over and over again, you're going to come up with some pretty extraordinary results. And that really is the idea. Hey, quick interruption. If you want to scale your business fast, if you want to earn more money, work less, and have way more fun, I want to invite you to book a call with my team. We will go over exactly where your pain points are, what's keeping you up at night, how we can install the right systems and the right leverage with an amazing pre-vetted, highly trained virtual assistant, super cost effective, that's going to allow you to build that business without you, as you're hearing about on this video. Book a game plan call by following the link down in the description, and I'll see you on there. All right, back to the video. Now, how do dominoes play into this? Well, there was a study done that a domino can actually knock over another domino that is 1.5 times its size, right? So if you got dominoes lined up, I don't happen to have any, but if you line them up, kind of like this, let's go like this, let's have some fun. You got a phone, you got a book, you knock this over, right? And that knocks over the next domino, and you keep going 1.5 times up and up and up. You're going to get pretty high pretty fast. You're going to get to the Empire State Building. You're going to get to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You're going to get to the moon pretty quickly. Man, I'm really jumbling it up today. Faster than you think you can. And so the idea there is you want to figure out what the first domino is, the one thing, right? If you knock over that first one, it knocks over the second one, so on and so forth. That is such a critical component and critical concept. And so the way that most entrepreneurs use this is they'll take a project, right, and they will decide what the one thing is. What's the first thing I should do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? But that's not really the way you want to be thinking about it in an entrepreneurial concept. Like I said, I was a certified trainer for this book, but I really didn't understand this until way later in my entrepreneurial journey. And here's the secret sauce, and that is that your one thing in most instances is to get yourself out of being the person who does the thing and get someone else in there doing it. You could say to replace yourself, you could say to provide leverage for yourself, but the idea is How do you get yourself out of most things in your business and go from operator to CEO or to business owner? That is really, at the end of the day, the one thing for most of us. Now, you have to do that in the right order. I've talked about this on several of my other videos. We have a replacement or leverage ladder that says that you should eliminate administrative tasks first, then fulfillment, then marketing and sales, then you get to leadership, right? And so when you do it in the right order, you actually get a business that runs without you, which is what I'm so passionate about, creating and helping you create in your business. So you have to do that by asking yourself, what is that one thing that I can do today, right now, that will make all of that easier or unnecessary? So let me run some examples through for you. Let's say you're starting out, you're a solopreneur, great word that everyone loves to use. What is the one thing for you? Well, the one thing for you is to get all of your admin tasks off your plate, right? So I hope you're seeing how this works in a real world context. See, you don't even have to read the darn book, even though it's great. Look at this, I got it all marked up. I got all kinds of things going. I actually just used it for something else this weekend because I was talking to my business partner in another company and we were having all kinds of issues and challenges in the business because we had some employees leave. And I noticed that this one segment of the business was like, 20% of our income, but it was causing 80% of the problems. And that's something called the Pareto principle, which is in this book. And they talk about it a lot. And so the Pareto principle applies everywhere you look, right? And so 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts, 80% of your problems come from 20% of your clients, so on and so forth. And so what do? Well, once you identify that, then you just eliminate that part or you change it or you make a correction, which is exactly what we did in that case. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Pareto principle is awesome, but when you're talking about the one thing for you, you're going to replace yourself in admin. Then when that's done, you're going to replace yourself in fulfillment, so on and so forth. If you follow that replacement or leverage ladder and you're always thinking about, hey, how do I replace myself? How do I buy back my time? How do I get back that time that I'm spending on email and administration and do the more productive things in the business that actually make me money? That really should be the focusing question. Maybe I need to write a book and call that the focusing question, right? What's the one thing I need to do today to get myself out of these non-dollar producing activities and into the dollar producing activities? And so that's what you really get out of reading this book. And by the way, the best way to do that, of course, right, is to add systems to your business and leverage. So everything's got to be systematized, because if it's not systematized, if things are in your head, then there is just no way that they're going to happen automatically when you replace yourself. All that will end up happening is that you will just get a bunch of people that are dependent on you to do the work. And so what you want to do is you want to create systems, and then you want to create leverage. Best way to create leverage today, there are some positions, of course, that require in-house staff. They have to be here on site. But for the most part, when we're talking executive assistant, when we're talking social media management, when we're talking administration and fulfillment, having an amazing team of virtual assistants is such a cost-effective and efficient way to do it. In fact, the virtual assistants that we staff at All Star VAs, we've staffed over 10,000 of them, will actually help you create those systems for you. And if you want to see exactly how that could look, we open up some spots every single week to chat with our team one-on-one for a game plan call. There's a link down in the description. Go grab one, chat with us, and we'll help you out. So what you're really doing here when you read this book or when you just watch this video and get my summary of it is you are really building a business that runs without you, because you're replacing yourself along that replacement ladder. You're adding systems to your business and you're adding leverage to your business. And when you put all of that together, then what ends up happening is that you earn more money, you work less, and you have way more fun. And if you want to know exactly how to do all of this, I got your back, and more importantly, YouTube's got your back, because YouTube says, hey, if you watch this video right here, that's exactly what's going to happen for you and your business. I'll see you on the next one.